عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بارك الله فيكم. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهدي الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. ثم أما بعد. I want to apologize for the delay. ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله فحسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل. Now, we continue with our lesson in the famous book by Imam موفق الدين وهو عبد الغني ابن عبد واحد المقدسي، وهو umdat al-ahkam. umdatul ahkam. Now, the famous book that talks about the foundations of the religion, where you get the verdicts and the different applications and the different aspects of the religion. وبدأنا بارك الله فيكم بكتاب الطهارة. We began with Kitab al-Tahara, and the last class we took was the hadith where the Prophet ﷺ قال لا يبولن أحدكم بالماء الدائم وفي رواية الماء لا يجري. نعم. ثم يغتسل وفي رواية وهو جنوب. Can you mute your phone, please, inshallah? جزاكم الله خيرا. السامعين خيرات بارك الله فيكم. Mute your phones, please, the listeners. جزاكم الله خيرا. So the Prophet ﷺ, he mentioned the hadith, which is in the Bukhari and Muslim: let not any one of you urinate in his water, meaning in the tub that he's in, and then he bathes from that water that is not moving. Let no one from amongst you urinate in the water that's standing still, and then he bathes in that water. If someone still has their phone unmuted, you have to go to your phone, hafidhahullah, and press mute. Everyone has that button because it's in the background, and it's also in the recording as this dars is live on the internet and on the phone lines, hafidhakumullah. Now, so that hadith, we talked about the discussion between the ulama. Some of them said that this here is not a prohibition. The la in the beginning of the word, or in the phrase la yubulanna ahadukum, it's not prohibition, it's that which is a strong dislike. Sometimes when you see this la in the Arabic language, it could mean that something is a no-no altogether, or something is a no-no meaning it's better for you not to. Like Prophet ﷺ said, لا تشربن أحدكم قائما, from the hadith of Anas in Sahih Muslim. So the same wording. And some ulama said from the dispute here is that you shouldn't drink standing, because the Prophet ﷺ, he said لا تشربن, la here, and then the noon in the word at the end. The end sound shows that something is either really emphasized to mean it's bad for you, you shouldn't do it, or it can cause a problem. If it's bad for you, you shouldn't do it, that means it's prohibited, haram as we say. If it's bad for you, it can present a problem for you, then the rule in Islam is that lam means it's haram. But if it's not bad for you, but it can cause you a problem down the line, possibly, then that lam in the Arabic language normally means makruh. Now, so here the Prophet, when he will speak like this, you will hear the noon in the end of the word, such as the word tashrabu. Tashrabu means you're drinking. The Prophet said tashrabanna. He added the noon, the end sound, along with the lam in the beginning of the phrase. This means a strong caution or a prohibition. So those who say that it's a prohibition, of course they say you can't stand drinking based on this hadith. Those that say it's not a prohibition, it's a strong dislike, then the reason they say it is because normally if the Prophet tells you not to do something, and then on top of that he uses a strong language, it means that he's not going to do it. It's haram. But if the Prophet tells you not to do something, and he uses a strong language to emphasize it, but you see him doing it, then this is an indication that either that thing is allowed for him as a prophet, and the ummah cannot do it, it's prohibited, or that thing is not an exception for him as a prophet, it's an exception for everybody when you have to do it. So if it's an exception for you when you have to do it, then this is when those people who say that it is makruh, meaning it's disliked, that this lam in the word takes the meaning of dislike because the Prophet told you not to do it, but he himself turned around and did it, which is an indication that it's not prohibited, because if it was prohibited for you, then it's prohibited for him, except that some things are just for him, an exception as a prophet. And they normally agree on those things. This is only for him as a prophet. This is only for him as a prophet. But this particular thing, the scholars normally say either the drinking is prohibited for everyone, or it's just very, very disliked, and that is drinking standing. So the point is, the Prophet said, "La tashrabanna ahadukum qa'iman." Let none of you, well, he could have just said do not, but he said let none of you. The let and the none of you is the emphasis in English, and in Arabic it's the lam and the noon. La tashrabanna ahadukum, and then the ahadukum is for emphasis, because he already said la tashrabanna, which means you all don't drink, but then he came back and said ahadukum, any one of you. So it's like saying redundancy in English, but in the Arabic language it's called tawqid, emphasizing. So the Prophet is saying the same language, the same emphasis for not drinking. And the scholars, some of them, like Imam An-Nawawi, said that this is not a prohibition, rather it's disliked, because in the hadith of Ali ibn Abi Talib, which is in the Sahih of Abi Dawood and others than them, they said the Prophet was seen on Hajj standing drinking Zamzam. So if he says, let none of you do something, this includes him. But if you find him doing it, then this is an indication that it was strongly disliked, and not that he's telling you not to do it absolutely. Likewise, this hadith we took last time in the Umdatul Ahkam class, La yubulun ahadukum. La yubulun ahadukum. في ماذا في الماء دائم في الماء دائم لا يبلون. The word bawl is P. لا يبلون, let none of you urinate. في الماء, in the water that is da'im. It's always there. It doesn't move. It doesn't increase, decrease. It doesn't flow. He said ثم يغتسل, and then he makes his bath with it. وفي رواية وهو جنوب, and he's in a state of defilement. So what does this mean? The water has to be moving. And this is what many of the scholars use when they talk about the issue of this hadith. Does it mean absolutely don't use that water or not when you pee in it? Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah, he takes the position that إذا كان مع كثر والنجاسة يعني والنجاسة القلة فهو يجوز أن تطهر منه. That if the water is more than the impurity, which P is the impurity in this point, then it is perfectly okay to use this hadith, which will show that it's not a prohibition. According to Shaykh al-Islam Taymiyyah, this prohibition is not a what we say absolute prohibition. It's a preventive thing, which we say is makruh. Prohibition all the way across the board. The makruh, dislike, and if it's going to lead to the level that it's harmful, then it becomes a prohibition. So haram, don't do it all. Makruh, do it with caution. If it turns into a problem, then it becomes upgraded to haram. So here, Shaykh Islam Taymiyyah takes a position, if the water is more than the impurity, then the meaning of this la yubuluna, don't pee in the water, ahadukum, any one of you, thumma yaktasil, he said if the water is more than the impurity, then this takes the meaning of its dislike, which means you can make ghusl from that water, even though some pee came out. And we know when you get in the water, sometimes the water stimulates you and makes some urine come out. If the water is more than the urine, according to Shaykh Islam Taymiyyah, then this lamb, the beginning of the statement of the Prophet ﷺ, is makruha. It's a detestant. But you can still make the ghusl and be pure for prayer. وَإِذَا كَانَ النَّجَاسَ أَكْثَرَ مِنَ الْمَاءِ فَهُوَ تَحْرِيمٌ. But if it's the opposite, that is, that the impurity is more than the water, then the lamb in the statement of the Prophet takes the meaning that it is prohibited, haram. And they base this on the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ in Abi Dawood, where he said, Al-ma'a tuhur, la yanjusuhu shay'a. Al-ma'a tuhur, la yanjusuhu shay'a. Naam, that the water that is pure, nothing defiles it. But of course, they were talking about al-ma' al-bahr, the water of the sea. As Prophet was asked this question, and he said, ma'uhu tuhur, the water of it, meaning the sea, is pure. Wa maytatuhu halal, and that which dies in it is halal. Now, the water of the sea is pure, meaning it purifies whatever goes in it. And whatever dies in the water, it's halal. Whatever dies in the water is halal. Yani barakallahu fikum, if you're on land, it is clear from many verses in the Quran, you cannot eat something that died. Brothers riding down the Highway 77. Allah Musta'an, he's in Michigan. Or he's riding down Highway 70 West in St. Louis, Missouri. Or he's riding down Highway 80 in New Jersey, on his way to New York, and he finds a deer on the side of the road. He can't jump, pull over, get the deer, throw it in the back of his truck, we got some meat. La. Lanna hada yani maytata. This is dead meat. Has to be alive and you kill it. Hakada. Lakin idha kana shay'un qadamat fil bahri fahuwa halalan. But if something dies in the sea, it becomes halal, based on the principle of the water of the sea is purifying, and that which dies in it is okay, it is halal. And Imam al-Shawkani, على هذا قول, حكم بأن إذا مات الخنزير أو الكلب في البحر يجوز أن تأكلها. يجوز أن تأكلها. نعم. If a pig drowns in the water of the sea, or a dog drowns in the water of the sea, then it becomes permissible by this principle from this hadith to eat that particular pig or that dog. As we know, dogs are prohibited to eat as well as pigs. But that which dies in the sea, the point is because the sea water is pure water. It's not like stagnant. It's not polluted. And the body of the water of the sea is so much, whatever enters that water is definitely going to be the minority. And this is the point Shaykh Islam Taymiyyah was making about the urine in a tub or a place where a person is seeking to bathe, whether it be a lake or a bathtub or whatever. If the water is not flowing, that is the issue, then you cannot use that water that you urine in to take a bath for ghusl. Neither wudu. But if the water is flowing, khalas, there's no argument. There's no argument. So Shaykh Islam Taymiyyah was using the principle of how much water. If the water is more than the impurity, scholars of Yemen, who by the way was from the Zaydis of Yemen, but he was from those who were close to Ahlul Sunnah, meaning he didn't curse the Sahaba, he didn't make any of Ahlul Bayt extreme, the people of the Prophet's house, including his wives and extended family. He didn't talk against the Ansar like the Rafidi, the Iranian Shia do. The Imam Shawkani was a great scholar, and Allah raised him because of the knowledge. But he was from the people of Yemen, and he was from the Zaydi Shia of that time. And he's considered to be from the ulama, the great ulama of Ahlul Sunnah, Imam Shawkani. He is the one who has the position that, and other scholars as well, if the pig or the dog dies in the sea, it becomes permissible to eat, because whatever dies in the sea, according to the statement of the Prophet, the authentic hadith, then it is permissible to eat. However, dogs are haram, generally. This is an exception. Pigs are haram, generally. That's an exception for those scholars to take that position. But there is something called hyena. There's something called hyena. And he's a cross between a dog and a Allahumma salli barak ala nabiyina Muhammad. He's a cross between a dog and a wolf. And I myself seen it when I was in Yemen, when I had vision. We had a chance to see it. And the Prophet ﷺ mentioned that this hyena is permissible to eat, authentic hadith. Where fox, which is in the family, similarly, and the wolf, which is in the family, similarly to a hyena, they are not permissible to eat. You cannot eat a fox, you cannot eat a wolf, but the hyena, which is a cross between a canine dog and a wolf, the Prophet said you can eat it. So this is a side benefit from that. The next hadith, which is the hadith of Abu Hurairah radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, akhrajahu Bukhari wa Muslim. قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إذا ولغ كلب في الإناء فليقتصها سبعة وأول منه بالتراب وفي رواية يعني ثمانية. One narration of Salam, he said إذا ولغ كلب, إذا ولغ, like إذا جاء, إذا قام. إذا means when, if, like a conditional phrase. So here the Prophet said إذا ولغ. Walaga is to lick. إذا ولغ كلب, كلب a dog. إذا ولغ كلب في الإناء, when the dog يعني ولغ في الإناء, he licks, puts his tongue in the vessel. The Prophet he said فليغسله سبع مرات. فليغسل, this is a command form. فليغسلها نعم, then you should wash it, the vessel, سبعة وأول منها بالتراب أو كما قال, and the first of the washing should be with dirt. وفي رواية أخرى ثمانية, and another narration said wash it 8 times, which means one is going to be with dirt. The other narration, one is going to be with dirt, 7, and the other narration 8. Now, there's no discrepancy in the number. The Prophet is saying this, showing the flexibility, and the thing is, you have to wash it quite a few times. That's the issue here. The wisdom behind 7 in one narration and 8 in the other. And both of them authentic hadith. In the Bukhari and Muslim. Here, the Prophet said, إِذَا وَلَغَ كَلْبُهُ. And ulama, they said, وَلَغَ يعني ماذا أبلغ من الشرب. وَلَغَ أبلغ من الشرب. يعني وَلَغَ, they said, is carries a far more meaning, more inclusive, more profound than if the Prophet would have said إِذَا شَرِبَ كَلْبُ فِي الْإِنَاءِ. إِذَا شَرِبَ, if he drinks from the vessel. He didn't say, they said إِذَا وَلَغَ, if he licks. And this could mean he doesn't even drink the water. He just licks the vessel. His tongue didn't touch the water, he just licked part of the vessel. Whereas Prophet ﷺ could have said if he drinks, which means his tongue is going to move, and the water he's going to drink like this. And he's thirsty. But here, if he just licks the vessel, the Prophet said, then wash it 7 times. وَأَوَّلَهَا مِنْ تَرَابٍ. And the first wash with dirt. The scholars, they talk about this. They said, Barakallahu fikum, it doesn't make a difference if you wash it with the dirt going first, then the water, or the water, then the dirt, because you have 7 or 8 washes. So the first wash, you can put water, then put your dirt. Or put the dirt and then put the water. Or you can mix it to make it like mud and then put that all through the vessel and then wash it the other remaining times to get it clean. And this, they said, is not a big issue. Whichever way you do it, the point here is to wash it once with dirt. And they said there's a big difference of opinion and discussion about this issue of the dirt. Some have made the issue broad. They have made the issue broad, the statement of the Prophet, bit-tarabi, with dirt. Some of them said that the word tarab is not the object. The dirt is not the object here. لكن المقصود من التراب نقية. نقية يستعمل النقية للنظافة. That you use a cleaning agent to remove the germs, the harms, the filth, the dangers that come from the tongue of the dog. And they said this must stay in place. Some of them, that the dirt is the thing that should be used. From amongst them that takes this position, ماذا بارك الله فيكم أنبلي ولا ماذا الشافعي أنبلي plural for Hanbali. Anambali, the Hanbalis. Or Shafi'i, Imam al-Shafi and the scholars and students that came from him. They take the position أنه تعين بالترابي, that you can only use dirt. No matter what time or place you're in, dirt is what's used if the dog licks the vessel. وذهب إلى هذا إمام النووي. وذهب إلى هذا إمام النووي. Imam al-Nawawi, he takes the same position. أما المالكية والأحناف, as far as Imam Malik and the Hanafis. وكذلك بارك الله فيكم السفيان الثوري والليث بن سعد وماذا وغيره من العلماء, that they have their positions and their ways and their schools. They may not be as big as the 4 known methodologies and schools, but Layth and Awza'i and Barakallahu Fikum Thawri, they have their schools and opinions, but they didn't last like Imam Abu Hanifa's teachings and Imam Malik and Imam al-Shafi'i and Imam Ahmad. But there's many. Like you have the Madhhab al-Zahiriyah, meaning whatever that's there in wording, they take that. They don't take underlying meanings. They don't take other side possible meanings. What's in black and white, that's it. And that's Imam Ibn Hazm. Imam Ibn Hazm al-Hanbali. And he does some extracting based upon the literal meaning. So there's many, as they say, schools and methodologies and teachers and opinions and things that you can use. And that's why they're talking about this issue of should it be just dirt or is it anything that serves the purpose of cleaning. As the dirt was mentioned as a cleaning agent. Because the dog, he carries many microbacteria that Allah Azza wa Jal, the one who created the dog and created the tongue and created the bacteria and created the water and created the ma'adha barakallahu fikum, the minerals that the vessel was made from, along with the dirt, knows what is the best thing for that cleaning. And they said, many of the scholars mentioned that this can't be changed because the Prophet subhanahu wa ta'ala said about him, وَلَمْ يَنْتِقُ عَنِ الْهَوَىٰ إِنْ هُوَ إِلَّا وَحْيٌ يُوحَىٰ, that the Prophet doesn't speak from anything but revelation. وَهَذَا فِي مَقَامِ بَارَكَ اللَّهُ فِيكُمْ الطَّهَارَةِ. وَهَذَا فِي مَقَامِ الطَّهَارَةِ. And tahara is an issue of worship. It's in the category of something that's clearly religious. So therefore, you can't change the issue that the Prophet mentioned for something else. But others have said that the maqsood, the reason that the dirt was mentioned, the object is for cleaning. Therefore, anything that comes later on that's used for a cleaning agent, sabun, soap, أو يعني أي نقية أخرى like Clorox or like this chlorine. يعني بارك الله فيكم لا بأس تستعمل. You can use it if the dog licks the vessel to clean. لكن منهم يقولون كما قلنا أن الطين طائيا بهذا. Now, so there's difference of opinion. Some of them say the dirt stays no matter what. If the dog licks the vessel, go get you some dirt, some soil, mix with water, clean it. Don't never mind when 2016, when 1437, or we have many cleaning agents, you're using dirt, use dirt. And others say la bas yani al-amr wasi', that the issue is broad because the meaning of using the dirt is for cleaning purposes. And in Maham barakallahu fikum إذا ولغ الكلب في الإناء. The main point here is the dog licks in the vessel. Then the Prophet said clean it 7 times in one narration. Another narration clean it 8 times, and let the first of them be from the dirt. Naam, let the awwalha min al-tarab. وخيل في رواية أخرى وماذا يكون منه ماذا تراب. And the other narration said let it be one of them from the dirt. So some say the hadith where he says let the first one be from the cleaning agent, the dirt. This explains the one that's general where it says just let one of the washings be from dirt, meaning do it with dirt first. Just as when you clean something today, you put the Clorox or the Clorox gel or the soap or the fabulous or pine salt. Well, you put that first. Then some people, they put the water, get it wet, then they put the agent. يعني هكذا. لكن قول النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم هو وحي يتبع وحي من الله سبحانه وتعالى. But the statement of the Prophet is considered revelation. Walhamdulillah rabbil alameen. طيب. وحديث آخر الحديث عن عثمان ibn Affan. The next hadith رضي الله تعالى عنه. Hadith Uthman ibn Affan, where he قام وغسل يديه ثلاثة. He stood, he washed his hands 3 times. ثم دخل يده في إناء. Then he stuck his hand in the vessel. So he washed his hands 3 times first. We mentioned this in the class in the Riyadh al-Salihin in the masjid, that the Prophet ﷺ mentioned in the hadith of Abu Huraira and the Bukhari and Muslim, إذا ماذا إذا يتوضأ أحدكم ماذا إذا توضأ أحدكم إذا توضأ أحدكم فماذا فليغسل يديه ثلاثة. If any one of you wants to make wudu, let him wash his hands 3 times first. And we mentioned this time and time again, as this is the same thing that Uthman is doing. He's washing his hands first. While Tabaraku wa ta'ala in Surah Al-Ma'idah says, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا إِذَا قُمْتُمْ إِلَى الصَّلَاةِ فَاغْسِلُوا وَجُوهَكُمْ وَأَيْدِيَكُمْ إِلَى الْمَرَافِقِ. Where Tabaraku wa ta'ala in the Surah of Ma'idah, the 5th surah, he said, O you who believe, when you intend on praying, this is the meaning, إِذَا كُمْتُمْ إِلَى الصَّلَاةِ. إِذَا كُمْتُمْ إِلَى الصَّلَاةِ, يعني the word kumtum is يعني فعل والفاعل. فعل والفاعل. It includes the one who's doing the action and the past tense action. So it's as if Allah is talking in the past tense, like you already stood to pray. But this is the way of the Arabic language, and the Arabs speak like this. So Allah spoke like this because it's ablaq. It carries more meaning to speak past tense, just like it carries more meaning to speak plural when you're talking to one individual. So Tabaraku wa ta'ala was meant here, إِذَا كُمْتُ إِلَى الصَّلَاةِ أَيْ إِذَا أَرَادَ أَن تُكُمْ لِلصَّلَاةِ. When you want to stand for the salah, not when you have already stood. It doesn't take that meaning. when you want to stand for salah, tabarak wa ta'ala said, faqsilu, from the word ghasala. Faqsilu, from the word ghasala. At the end of the word faqsilu, the lu, this is the waw jama'u. The waw jama'u. So ghasala becomes ghasalu. And faqsilu, the fa, showing that it's a command form. And the end of the word lu here means he's talking to a group of people, Allah Azza wa Jal. So he said, when you want to pray, you want to stand for salah, faqsilu, you are wash wujuhakum, your faces. Wujuh, from the plural of wajh. Wajh, face. Wujuh, faces. Wujuhakum, your faces. So why is Uthman washing his hands first? Why did the Prophet ﷺ wash his hands first? Because this is the لأن أحدكم لا تدري أين باتت يده. Because none of you know where his hands were being placed, what he was doing with his hands, meaning while he was sleeping. We mentioned this before. A person might, Allah musta'an, don't get grossed out, but this is practical. A person may put his hands anywhere, and germs may be in his hands. Between the legs, the private, the nose, his eyes, sleep boogers, whatever in his eyes, stuff running, he has a cold, you don't know. So if you go right away, take your hands, Allah said, فَقْسِلُوا وَجُوهَكُمْ, wash your face first. You may get something, a bacteria, that's not already in your eyes or in your mouth, in your eyes and your mouth. Because remember, part of wudu is that you have to put water in your nose and your mouth. So the Prophet ﷺ, because he's speaking from revelation, he's speaking from that which Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala intends good for all of the creation. There's not a rule in Islam except it's tied to a maslahah, a benefit. Then the issue of wudu has many benefits. One of them is that you clean yourself. So it would be ludicrous to have wudu include becoming sick or harmed by bacteria. Rather, the opposite is to remove bacteria, to remove the filth from between the fingers and so forth. As it comes in many hadith, the one who washes in wudu, even the filth from between or underneath his nails, is the removal, washing away of his sins. Subhanallah. Subhanallah. So here, the point is, the reason Uthman is washing his hands 3 times, although Allah says wash your face first, and then Allah said, وَأَيْدِيَكُمْ إِلَى الْمَرَافِقِ, and then the hands along with the forearm and the elbow, is because that first washing of the hands is preliminary. It's preventive measure to keep the water clean that you're going to use for wudu, for yourself, safety, hygiene, and others. So Uthmani did that. Wash hands 3 times. ثُمَّ اسْتَنْشَقَ وَالْمَضْمَضَةَ. Istinshaq, and we mentioned this before, istinshaq is to put water in the nose, to sniff the water in the nose. To sniff the water in the nose. نَفَسَ الْمَا فِي أَنْفِهِ, to water in your nose. Naam. And then to clean the mouth, which Prophet ﷺ used to put the water in the mouth and the nose simultaneously. Some scholars say if you can't do it all in one motion, do it separately, but you must put water in the nose and the mouth. And used to put the water in the nose and the mouth. This point is a difference of opinion between the scholars. Do you have to wash the nose or not? ذهب الحنفية والمالكية والشافعية وبارك الله فيكم وإمام أوزاعي وليث بن سعد وغير ذلك من الأئمة إلى أن استنشاق مستحب دون الواجب. إلى أن استنشاق مستحب دون الواجب. So the Hanafi madhab along with Imam Abu Hanifa, the Maliki madhab along with Imam Malik, The Shafi'i madhab along with Imam al-Shafi'i, Imam al-Uza'i, Barakallahu fikum, Layth ibn Sa'd, and a group of other scholars of the Salaf, of our righteous predecessors, Sunnah, they said to put the water in the nose is only recommended. It's only recommended. Amma al-Hanbali, وهو Imam Ahmad واتباعه, the Hanbali scholars, including Imam Ahmad, ذهبوا إلى أنه واجب ولا تصح الوضوء إلا بها ولا تصح الوضوء إلا بها. The Imam Ahmad and his students and the shuyukh of the Hanbali madhab, they take the position, they are the only ones that say putting the water in the nose is a necessity. You have to do it. It's wajib. And if you don't do it, guess what? Your wudu is not correct. So the Jamhur al-Ulama, the majority of the scholars, along with, we mentioned the Hanafis, the Malikis, Shafi'is, and the other ulama of the other madhabs that are not so widely spread and known, like the Uza'i, Layth ibn Sa'd, great ulama, the Salaf, they take the position is recommended to put the water in the nose. Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal and the students of Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal and the Hanbali scholars, they take the opposite. They said no, it is an obligation. And a step further, if you don't do it, then your wudu is not correct. Now, so this is Uthman. He washed his hands 3 times. He put water in his nose and in his mouth. And of course, he washed his face. Then he washed ghusl yadayhi ila barakallahu fikum ila al-marafiq. Naam. He washed his hands ila al-marafiq. Here in the Arabic language, the ulama, they said lugatan yani al-yad yani bima'na al-isba'u ila mirfaq. Al-isba'u ila al-mirfaq. Yani from the fingertip to the elbow is considered the meaning of hand. In English, we said the hand is just your palm, the inner and the outer part of the palm of your hand and your fingers. That's it. If you say the wrist, it's not considered the hand. If you see the forearm, it's not considered for hand. And definitely the elbow, you have already exceeded the hand. But in Arabic, hand is from the fingertip to the elbow. That's what Tabarak wa Ta'ala said, فَاغْسِلُوا وَجُوهَكُمْ وَأَيْدِيَكُمْ إِلَى الْمَرَافِقِ. And أَيْدِيَكُمْ, your hands, إِلَى الْمَرَافِقِ, to the elbow. Many of the scholars that say ila in the Arabic language, it carries a lot of meanings. Sometimes ila, it means nihaya, means your end destination. For example, لو قال شخص ذهبت من البيت إلى المسجد. If a person says ذهبت من البيت إلى المسجد, I left from the house towards the masjid. Ila here carries the meaning nihayatul haja or nihayatul safar or nihayatul dhahab al masjid. Nihaya means the end of what he's doing, the end. Where he's going, the end of his destination is the masjid. So ila carries the meaning of ending destination. This is what the scholars of Lugha, their language, they say never say ila min. You never say ila min. You never say dhahabtu ila al-masjidi min al-bayti. No. It's the other way around. Ila comes last. Min comes first, because min means where you're coming from, where you're starting from, and ila means where you're ending. Here, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَأَيْدِيَكُمْ إِلَى الْمَرَافِقِ, the same word ila, it doesn't mean towards the elbow or to the elbow. It carries the meaning ma'a, along with. To watch the hand, the wrist, the forearm, along with the elbow. And we find this meaning of the word ila, wa tabaraku wa ta'ala was talking about the orphan in Surah An-Nisa. He said, وَلَا تَأْكُلُوا أَمْوَالَهُمْ إِلَىٰ أَمْوَالِكُمْ إِنَّهُ كَانَ هُوبًا كَبِيرًا. وَلَا تَأْكُلُوا أَمْوَالَهُمْ. Ta'kul here doesn't mean eat. Ta'kul literally means to consume. So sometimes the word ta'kul means eating food or taking something else into your possession. Here Allah uses it to mean consume, to take someone's wealth. So Allah said, وَلَا تَأْكُلُوا أَمْوَالَهُمْ. Amwal, wealth. Home, the orphans. إِلَى أَمْوَالِكُمْ. إِلَى here doesn't mean towards. It means مَعَ أَمْوَالِكُمْ. Do not mix their wealth with your wealth. Don't put your wealth with their wealth. Keep their wealth separate from your wealth. So ila here carries the meaning ma'a at times. Here, this is one of the angles of the scholars when they say, some of the ulama, I should say, the statement, فَقْسِلُوا وَجُوهَكُمْ وَأَيْدِيَكُمْ إِلَى الْمَرَافِقِ. إِلَى الْمَرَافِقِ here means along with the elbow. And the only way you're going to wash the hand, which is from the fingertip to the elbow, along with the elbow, means you have to wash the elbow as well. Don't stop at the elbow. Because ila could mean stopping at the elbow. The elbow is the stopping point. But you're going to have a gray, white, rusty elbow, and your wudu is not going to be complete if you take the meaning ila, which means nihaya. It means ma'a, along with. Meaning wash the whole hand, palm, wrist, forearm, along with the elbow. The elbow should be the stopping point, meaning after you wash the elbow. And this is how Abu Hurairah in the hadith, he washed beyond that up to the muscle, and he was trying to make sure that he was safe and that he didn't wash and leave the elbow unwashed, because he understood the same thing, that it means along with the elbow and not to the elbow and then stop. Now, so here Uthman, he washed his hands 3 times in his face, put in the water in his nose and his mouth, and then he washed Barakallahu fikum from the fingertip to the elbow, meaning along with the elbow, 3 times. Then masa'arats, thumma masa'arats, then he wiped his head. This part of the hadith, all of the scholars agree that the wiping of the head is compulsory, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He mentioned this as well, to wipe the head. Allah, He mentioned to wipe the head. Now, and the wiping of the head, the Prophet ﷺ used to wipe. Well, the difference of opinion here is, can you wash or wipe, I should say, not wash, wipe some of the head, or do you have to wipe all of the head? And we'll add the other part that the scholars talk about. And if you have long, lengthy hair, do you have to run your fingers with water through your hair, or is it sufficient just to wipe over the head where the hair is at? Let's take the latter first, and that is, you should not make, as they say, takhleel sha'ari fil wudu. You should not run your fingers through your hair when you're making wudu in the name of, I'm trying to get the water to, go through all of the strands of my hair. It's because the Prophet didn't do that. And it's reported that his hair was at times on his shoulder, beyond the earlobes. That's pretty lengthy. But we don't find him doing that in wudu. Rather, to his beard, to his lihya, it's sunnah that you run your fingers through your beard. If you have a beard that your fingers can go through, some brothers don't. Allah tested them. They just have a little shallow this and that. Some people have enough. They can run the fingers, mashallah, for both of them. So here, barakallahu fikum, this is sunnah, to run the fingers through the lihya, the beard in wudu. Amma ash-shahr ratsi fala. As far as the hair on the head, then no. This is the issue of ghusl. When you make ghusl, then the water must penetrate to the scalp. Amma awudu al-masa'a fiha fala. As far as wiping the area of wudu, then no. It does not necessitate the water must touch the scalp. You got to run your fingers to your hair, etc. Now we go back to the issue of wiping the head. All of the scholars agree that wiping the head is compulsory. Lakin al-Hanafiya وكذلك ماذا المالكية ذهب إلى أنه يجوز مسها يعني جزئيا، والحنفية ذهب إلى أنه يجوز مسها يعني الربع من الرأس. So the Maliki and the Hanafis, They say that it is okay to wipe partially. They all agree you have to wipe, but the Hanafis and the Malikis say you can just wipe a portion of it and that's sufficient. You don't have to wipe the whole head. And this is, they said, because of the nature